What the is indie sleaze? That was my exact thought when I saw this term being thrown all over the internet until I looked a little deeper. I realized this isn't some new trend. Now, before I describe to you what indie sleaze is, I'm gonna bring you back to what it was. The real, true, raw version of the classic indie sleaze. Back in the day, and by in the day I mean when I was in middle school, I remember this style being more widely described as hipster grunge, and even then, it wasn't anything new. It was just a revamp of something that once was. During this time of hipster grunge, I remember it being sort of like a pretentious rock look. Everyone wore their sheer black tights and their fishnets underneath of shorts. To be cool, you really had to wear an authentic band tee. Urban Outfitters really wasn't popping off yet. And looking like you just woke up from the craziest rager of your life was a staple. But that's really what it was like during that time. People were partying and going crazy after what was really financial turmoil and a really hard time in the United States, the Great Recession. So, indie sleaze. It's a term that was coined in the early 2020s by TikTokers, and it really is just an amalgamation of 90s grunge, hipster fashion, 70s and 80s electro rock, and an overall anti-glamour look. Gone were the days of bedazzled flip phones, juicy couture sets, and the whimsy pinks of the early 2000s, which welcomed in this new, grubby look into society that a lot of people look back on with disdain. But when I look back to those times, I think of Tumblr, MGMT, Amy Winehouse, Avril Lavigne, the Olsen twins. It also reminds me of my obsession with Lindsay Lohan in The Confessions of a Teenage Drama Queen. I mean, who didn't want to be her? Her look was iconic, and she just wanted to be a rock star, just like everybody else during those times. I haven't really seen this in mainstream fashion yet, but I did see it make an appearance in Celine's Fall/Winter 2023 show, where they sported the term Age of Indiness. So, the real question is indie sleaze going to hit mainstream fashion? If it is, here are some outfits that will be an updated version of the almost forgotten hipster trend of the mid-2000s. Now, I know a lot of people really, really hated this trend and hated this style and hated this time of life, but there are some good things about it. Number one, it's extremely thriftable. I think that because this was happening at a time of really financial struggle for a lot of people, people had to turn to thrifting as an alternative. So yeah, I think thrifting is just, it adds to that look, that feel of what true indie sleaze is about, and that is anti-glamour, anti-poshness, anti-fast fashion. It really was a time when people were trying to enjoy life and not at the cost of anything, the environment, financial cost. Buying vintage, secondhand, and upcycling were just huge parts of it, so that's a major advantage in my book. This look is also extremely messy and laid back. You don't have to slick your hair back to have this indie sleaze vibe. Most times, wearing your hair natural and scruffing it up a little bit will actually add to the overall vibe of indie sleaze. Now you might be wondering, how do I incorporate this into my wardrobe? If you have been someone who's been buying into this fast fashion, these micro trends, these things that change seemingly every other month, then you will probably have some of the items that you need to complete this look. Skinny scarves were huge like 2 years ago, and they were still big this last year as well. So if you have those, definitely utilize them. Graphic tees, I feel like these come and go really quickly, so more likely than not, you probably have one in your closet, and if you don't, your parents or grandparents or uncles or somebody you know probably has some. 3 is heavy or smudged eye makeup. I think that this really reminds me of Avril Lavigne, Lindsay Lohan, and Freaky Friday. Really anybody from that time. The Olsen twins. The smudgier, the better. And definitely like heavy black liner. Studded accessories, I remember those O-ring belts were like huge during this time, and I already know that people have them. They've been selling them a lot at Urban Outfitters and they're huge. Preppy touches, this is like blazers, those suit vests are really popular for this style. Chunky loafers are really good for it. It really just leans into that grunge side of it, covering your arms with bracelets. So I think that this time around we're going to see a lot more mixed metals, probably vintage bangles being used rather than the rubber ones that I remember. Chunky rings I think will make a really big comeback. I'm not sure about headpieces. Those were really big during that time in like the mid-aughts. I hope they don't come back. They did not look good. Big bags that are studded will come back. Studded everything really. I think people are going to be really into it. Moto boots, huge. I've already been seeing a massive influx of people wearing the Fry 12R boots, I think they're called. So if you can get your hands on those for really cheap on like Poshmark or eBay, or even at like your local thrift store, definitely pick them up because they're going to pop off. I can already see it happening. Leather jackets, anything leather, anything black really. If you can wear all black, that just adds to the look. We're already seeing this kind of with the lace, but any like ripped or like any sheer kind of fabrics I think really help with layering for this style. So indie sleaze, am I mad about it? No, I think that it will look good in modern days. I think that we've figured out how to take these kind of awkward times in fashion history and make them look a little bit better. And to each their own. Everybody's style is completely different, and if there's a trend that you want to take and make your own, go for it. I think that that is a great way to be creative, and it's a great way to add to a look without looking trendy. But I'm kind of excited to see what's to come for this new revival of hipster grunge, this new age of 90s grunge and hipster fashion, what is now known as indie sleaze. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you'd like to see more of these videos in the future, definitely let me know in the comments. I'm gonna have some items in my Depop, and I actually already have some listed that have been there for a little bit that would fit perfectly into this indie sleaze look. Let me know if you're interested in any of those pieces. They'll be in my Depop, which is down in the description box. Also check me out on Instagram and follow me there. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.